Hey everybody, my name is Herschel from High School Top 200, and this review of Marlborough Boys College is brought to you by Fineline Barbers. What my mate Vinnie is doing from Fineline Barbers is that he's setting up an Aotearoa barbering competition that will take place here in Hamilton in September 2017. What it is it's going to be a national competition that will bring all the best barbers in the country together, and they're going to have a one-day event and have a competition to find out who's the best barber. They're going to be putting up a Facebook and Instagram page for the barbers around the country to upload their work so that we can see it as a public and then see what talent we have around there. There's going to be a lot of vendors and people that are directly linked with the barbering industry here in New Zealand, and so we're going to be able to see different vendors and product suppliers and things like that. And so it's going to be a big one-day event. It's going to be massive. Fineline Barbers Aotearoa Barber Competition, September 2017. One thing about Marlborough Boys is because they're all kind of by themselves, you're kind of out there by themselves. You don't really get to see too much of them or hear about too much of what they can do, but they always seem to have all these kind of hidden players. You know, you kind of hidden players. I mean, for example, like, and I kind of was like this with them as well, is that I think they had a very underrated, nationally an underrated front row. Quinn Harrison Jones and Sam Mully were two of the best front rowers in the country, and I think that it was pretty unlucky that one of them missed, like that both of them missed out on the Barbarians team. I think they were good Barbarians wise. Jaden Holdaway is another guy that I think was is going to be one of those up and coming players. As a year 11, he did great as a number 8 for them. Tane Craig Love, as an open side, I thought that he was a lot more controlled and fast, like moving at a fast pace and with his high work rate and things like that. And like there were guys like that who were part of this team, even with Jack Shadbolt and even Mara Ave, who were just really controlled players and played a position that played the position right, played the position with knowledge and knowing what they needed to do around the field. They weren't like overlooked, but they just kind of didn't get the credit, maybe because of the school that they were at. But I think that they have the talent there, and I think that they have the right overall squad to trip up bigger teams who are around the country. I thought that, especially with Nigel Satherley, I think they had a really good attacking backline, especially with Mara there and Jack, who controlled the front ball, the going forward ball from a forwards position and then getting it out as quick as possible. Josh Reese was another one I really liked on the team as well. And so, like, you know, they did have I thought they did have a roster and a squad that was good enough to win some games. And they fell, you know, they had some unlucky games. Like thinking about, they had that really good win against Christchurch Boys, which showed that they had a roster, that showed that they had a team and a coaching staff that was good enough to do it. But then they lost to Waimea combined the week after, and I'm not too sure how you would explain it or why. You know, and because the score was 42-19, so it was not even a close game. And so, like, you kind of like think, well, why did they lose for one, and then why did they lose by so much? They drop 76 points on Roncalli after that. Then they just lose a 1-point match against Shirley Boys. They draw against St Andrews. They draw again for the second week in a row. I don't know any team that's drawn 2 weeks in a row against Nelson College, showing that they have this talented team and they're just not finishing it off at the end kind of thing. So there's always those kind of questions that you don't really know how you're to explain it kind of thing. And because of these players that they have, like Sam and Quinn, Jaden Tane and Jack and Mara, with Nigel, those guys alone, that's a good enough squad to put together to win these bigger, to win these games, to win the games you're supposed to win, and to actually steal a couple away from the ones that that you should probably lose. Like the Christchurch one, they should have probably lose, but they stole that one away, which is what you're supposed to do. But you're supposed to go back the next week and roll over Waimea combined as well as St Andrews, and then steal another one from Nelson, which they almost did. The game against Burnside was close, 2017. They lost to Timaru Boys, which is a game they could have won as well. But their worst loss of the season is Rangiora High School. 25-20. I really don't know how you could lose to Rangiora High School. I know that Rangiora has some players. But at that level, nah, not at all. And then this is where it kind of gets confusing and somewhat annoying, is because they can go and then beat Waimea after losing to Rangiora. They beat Waimea 19-0, but they lost to them 42-19, which means they had a turnaround of 42 points, a defensive stoppage against a team that dropped 42 points on them. They scored 19 points again in the same game and then shut them out on a donut. So that kind of stuff to me is kind of confusing, but that's exactly how first 15 rugby is sometimes, and with some of the boys, is because you don't know what's going on with some of these boys sometimes, and their problems are different problems. So whatever problems that these guys had on that first game against Waimea College, they didn't have it on that second game because they shut them out on a donut and scored the same 19 points which they should have had. Then they finished strong with the Ashburton win, and as well as the St. Bede's win, which is a really good win, even though St. Bede's didn't have the greatest year this year. Beating them 16-10 still was a good result, and still somewhat of a big ego boost and good feel finish for the end of the game. I think I think Marlborough is going to be one of those teams even next year, depending on how much guys come back, maybe have the same kind of effect on the competition. Maybe need to change a bit character-wise or attitude-wise. I know it's traveling. The traveling is pretty hard for those guys, for those three teams up north a bit. But that's kind of what happens with that competition, and they kind of know that kind of, the deal with what happens there. But I still think that Waimea is going to be a pretty good team next year. They're going to have some spots open that need to be filled and need to be rebuilt. I don't think they should have guys to move in there and just have a 1 year stoppage there. I think they need guys that can play that position for 2 years and then, bring a whole sort of new team into it and build something for maybe 2019 or something like that, but have a really good run next year. That's my review for Marlborough Boys College. Peace.